evening, beautiful evening. If it's raining, it's still beautiful where you're connecting from. If you can see a lovely moon outside from where you are, it is still a beautiful evening. It's all of God's handwork. It's beautiful. Nature is beautiful. And so it's also beautiful to connect with you this evening. My name again is Blessing Edetubanowu, Head of Business Development for Partner Co Africa. And I have on the call with me my colleague Neil Ntinyai. Neil seems to be okay.
Good evening, Africa. Thank you so much, Blessing. Firstly, I just want to apologize, team. I'm not too sure what is happening to my camera, but obviously I can see that my screen or my face is not showing. But I just want to say that I'm looking forward to this amazing call this evening, a very important call indeed, like Blessing has already said. It's the call that is going to make us become specialists in registering our people into the business, which is critical. We need to make sure that when we register our brand partners, our preferred customers, we register them correctly and we guide them correctly as well on the different options that are available. I'm looking forward to this one. Please make sure that you call your prospects that you've invited to the call, make sure that they jump on so that they can also learn more about this amazing training call that Blessing will be taking us through. Thank you so much, Blessing. Over to you.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you so much, Neil. And of course, we have on the call with us our partner council members across Africa, in South Africa, in Nigeria. We thank you for all of the leadership that you continue to provide for our market and all of you amazing brand partners who are on the call. It is always a pleasure. You're the reason why we get on this call. Now, tonight, we're talking about enrollment. Enrollment 1, 2, 3. Before now, we've talked about recruiting techniques. Neil took a time and took us through recruiting techniques. As we recruit, what do we do with that? It is important. An aspect of recruitment is also enrollment. It is an aspect of recruitment. As you recruit, you need to place these beautiful partners into your organization. Now, what are the learning outcomes for tonight? One of the things that I would like us to be able to take note of is that we are supposed to learn and understand the process of enrollment. That's for those of you who are joining us for the first time. If you're just joining our community, this is the call that is supposed to help you learn and understand the process of enrollment. And also that enrollment is every brand partner's responsibility. In my experience, I meet a lot of brand partners on the field, and I see a lot of persons who think that it is their upline or their sponsor's responsibility to do the enrollment for them. Now, if you have a sponsor or an upline that has been doing this for you, it is a huge privilege on your side that you're getting from this great leader who takes out their time to do enrollment for you. Enrollment is every brand partner's responsibility. Now, if you have taken the time to want to join our community and to transform your life and inspire others, then it is your responsibility as you recruit to enroll them, not your upline or your sponsor. If they do that for you, that's a huge privilege. And then thirdly, to understand the importance of enrollment, what it plays in building your team and organization. Are you building a team? Then you must understand that it starts with enrollment. Enrollment is so key to you building your team and organization. And the fourth is for you to be more strategic in enrollment and placement to help you maximize your earning potential within the Partner Co community. And fifth is to be more strategic in enrollment and placement. This is to help you title advance. Now, we've talked about being strategic in enrollment and placement to help you optimize your earning potential. The fifth one is for you to be more strategic in enrollment and placement to help you title advance. All right. So it helps you build your team, it helps you earn more, and then it helps you title advance. And moving forward, ultimately, it's for you to be more strategic when you're enrolling and placing new team members into your organization. So now that you have started using our product and you have also started experiencing tremendous transformation, you are sharing the story to your friends and family and your network. Now, some of these prospects are now interested in the product and wants to join you in order for them to experience the same transformation as yourself. It is time to start enrolling them into the business. So grab a seat. Let us walk you through the enrollment process. Now, what does enrollment mean? It simply refers to recruiting. Remember, I mentioned that enrollment is an aspect of recruiting. So it simply refers to recruiting or adding new team members into your network. You can enroll someone under an already existing member. This is always a rewarding process. The new enrollee can also recruit new members to his or her success line. I think the last time we talked about downline and some person said, no, we want to see success line. So I have obliged you. It is success line. So under him or her, the following associate who introduces a person will receive a commission as a reward. So every time you introduce someone into the organization or into your team, that person will receive a commission. And that commission or a reward, we call it first order bonus. But we're not talking about the first order bonus today. We're just touching on that. So how important is placement in enrolling a new brand partner? Now, placement is the process of assigning a specific income position to each enrollee within your organization. Within your organization, all right? Within your organization. And when you do that, this new role comes with responsibilities, right? Each responsibility, each performing a meaningful role. So people don't just come into your organization and occupy an income position and do nothing. Everyone who comes into your organization has a meaningful role within your organization. Are you a brand partner on this call? You have a meaningful role within your upline's organization. Are you performing that role? So also those you bring into your organization, they have a meaningful role to play in your organization. One of the things is to work in collaboration with others. And as point volume, which is PV, flows from others and yourself, it can help build a more professional network where everyone benefits. We've talked about the point value before. This is used to calculate commission. And every product you buy with Partner Co has a point value and, of course, a price. Now, when people come into your organization, one thing I want you to take note of from this slide is that you should match each placement with people's abilities, capabilities, and pedigrees. So let's take, for instance, right here, say you meet someone who has an experience in our industry, which means the person is a networker. So they have experience. And then you meet another person. You place them as brand partner 1, and then you meet another person who also has experience in our industry, or maybe that person is an extrovert and is willing to talk about the products, their experiences. You place them as brand partner 2. Now, you don't want to place 2 persons who are very
Hi, team. It looks like we have lost Blessing there. I don't know if everybody can hear me.
We can.
Thank you, Nick. I think what Blessing was touching base on is in terms of placement, that when you do your placement strategically, you also want to make sure that you do not place, your strong people in one line. You need to look at that strategically and make sure that your power line and your pay line both balance each other, as we do know that, the two lines have to coexist in order for us to start earning our base commission.
That's right, Neil. So what it basically means is everybody that you're placing in your line are called connectors.
Absolutely.
Connectors, and you're ultimately looking for the builder. So
Yep.
whilst Neil is correct, you don't want to place two builders in the same line. You're not necessarily going to know who they are. So hence why we say talk to as many people as you can, because the more people you bring in, the closer you become to finding that builder. And the ideal situation would be to have a builder in your line 1 and a builder in your line 2, and then your lines run. Because our compensation plan, or our compensation plan is a multi-line compensation plan. So it's unlimited down and unlimited across. I don't know if you want to carry on there, Neil. Sorry.
No worries. Thank you so much for that, Nick. Nick has already put it out very beautifully, very important. We need to work strategically. With the one-on-one calls that I've had with a couple of brand partners, we have a look at the back office, and it gives us a great opportunity to have a look at what is happening in the business. What happens most of the time is that when we are new, we are just placing and we are not looking at our back office on a daily basis as we should, to be able to, establish those builders that Nick spoke about. It's important for each and every brand partner to, get into a daily habit of looking into their back office. Okay, I'm just trying to go through the rest of what Blessing would have talked about, because I don't have a presentation, but which is fine. So on that, as soon as one has strategically put the two lines together and they've got enough volume on both the lines, another important key factor to always remember is that your power line needs to always be stronger than your pay line. So with that being said, also there's a lot of questions that come to corporate where we are being asked, why has my power line changed? Remember that when you are building, as you are building, you are putting strategically those people in both your lines. And as they are building on a weekly basis, as we pay commission, you are going to find yourself at some point having your power line changing each and every week as you are building, right? So the importance of doing that, and the importance of making sure that you are constantly checking, is that you are alert. You don't want to have a shock as a brand partner because you are not looking at your business. You want to be alert. You need to be informed. You need to be on a lookout on a daily basis, actually twice a day. Make sure that you get on your back office, you check on what is happening there. And as well as you are doing that with your builders that we spoke about as well, it's important that you build bigger leaders. We always speak about a great leader building even greater leaders into their organization. So in order for you to maximize on your earning, is to also make sure that all this information that we are giving you today is also cascaded down to your builders as they are building as well. You will get to enjoy what we speak about a lot when we speak about the residual income, where you are working and your team is working, and that helps you as an upline to continue earning on a weekly basis. Okay, and with that being said, we spoke about placement. Placement is important, obviously, in putting the people into the correct lines. Like I've already said, how that will help us is that on a weekly basis, as I also touched base now on your base commission payout. So when you are getting paid on a weekly basis, we all know now with all the previous training calls that we've been on, that you need both the lines, like I've also elaborated and said on that earlier. So as we are paying you, what will happen is that the PV, that point value that Blessing touched based on, will be deducted from your pay line. So for an example, if I'm working this week and I have 100 PV on my pay line and I've got 200 PV on my power line, and the line with the most point obviously will be the power line. Like I've said, it's two lines. So the one line with the greater PV will be what we refer to as our pay line. So what the system will do is that it will go in in order to pay you your base commission, which is the 10% commission that we speak about that gets paid out to brand partners on a weekly basis as they qualify, most importantly. A brand partner is not just going to be paid out on a weekly basis without putting in the hard work. What you put in is equals to what you get out. So now, if I've worked in this week, which would have started on a Saturday, and I'm today on a Monday, I'm still, I've put in the hard work last week. As we know that commission gets paid for the previous week, right? So I've worked and I've got my power line with 200 PV and I've got my pay line with 100 PV. What the system will do, it will go in, it will then deduct my 10% from my pay line, which will then be deducted from my power line. That is why it is important for us to have the two lines working together. We cannot have the one without the other. If we do that, we're actually disadvantaging ourselves in terms of maximizing on the commission payout of the weekly base commission. So what the system will do, it will deduct on my power line, which means that for this week, when we do our commission run on a Tuesday, as we all should know, today is what we refer to as our open day, the day that the company allows us to change or to make any corrections in our payment or in our work that we've done for the previous week. Let's say, for an example, you've gone in and you now realize today, oops, I've placed Nick on a wrong line. Nick was actually supposed to be on my power line. Today, which is a day that the company gives us to be able to fix that, I'd be able to call into corporate and ask them to assist me in adjusting that, in correcting that, so that when the commission runs tomorrow, I'm able to maximize on my commission pay for the previous week. I think Blessing is back on the line. Hi, Blessing, are you back on the line?
Yes, please. Sincere apologies.
Awesome. Thank you, Blessing.
Sincere apologies to the entire team, Africa. I'm sorry about the network. All right. We talked about being strategic. Yes, we were talking about placement, how important placement is. I want to emphasize a little bit about placement. The reason why I'm emphasizing on placement is because we've had a lot of issues, not necessarily issues, but leaders coming to say, hey, I'm not earning as much as I want to or I should. Most times it is tied to placement from the onset. So you want to ensure that you're placing people strategically in a way that allows you to optimize your pay, in a way that allows you to title advance as easily as possible, and also in a way that allows you to earn base commission. Because once you understand this strategy, you would duplicate. You would teach the same to your team. And let me tell you what happens once you're able to teach the same to your team. They, in turn, will also maximize their earning potential as far as base commission is concerned. And once you have more people earning base commission within your organization, then you can be able to make more matching bonus payouts, because your matching bonus only matches to the base commission pay of your team members from the 1st to the 7th generation. So it is so important, placement. So be sure that you're placing people based on their abilities, capabilities, and pedigrees. So when you meet people, when you meet people and you talk to them, you can tell their personalities. You can tell if they've been in our industry for a long time, if they have experience, are they extroverts, then you can place people based on those capabilities, their pedigrees or abilities. You place them that way, because you don't want to place an introvert who has difficulty speaking to people. You don't want to place them all on a line where you now have a challenge with building that line. You want to be sure that you're mixing it all up. because those who have been in the industry with experience will support those who are struggling with some volume, and everyone will benefit at the end of the day. All right. So how can you be more strategic? You want to ensure that you're strategic each day. Remember that this is your business. You're building this business, and this business is still at an infant stage, which means that you're actually building the business from the scratch. We're still expanding. So each day, I want to believe that you will log into your back office. Log into your back office and check your volume. Check your volume distribution. So that helps you to maximize your potential and even earn better. So the first thing you should do each day is to check the current volume distribution within your organization before each enrollment to determine placements. You might wake up someday and then you see that there's a volume that has come into your organization and you don't even know where it's coming from. So it's best for you to always check, the volume distribution within your organization each day. The objective. Have a vision and a plan, of course. So what's your vision for this week? What's your objective? What are you trying to achieve? What's your goal for this week? Is it title advancement? Do you know what it requires to title advance from your current position to the next title? Or maybe you want to have a more attractive base commission. Do you know what it requires? Or maybe it's matching bonus paycheck you would like to increase. Then you need to know what the requirements are. All right, so let's take, for instance, here, a screen grab of the dashboard. Once you log into your back office, on your dashboard, you would see a quick overview of your current title. And so say, for instance, it tells you that your current title is a manager. It would also show you your lifetime earnings. So if you see on the screen here, this person has met the lifetime earnings to move to the next title, which is a director. What about the current pay line volume? Because the requirement for title advancement can be two things. It can either be only lifetime earnings to a certain point, and then later on, it will require that it is both lifetime earnings and also your total pay line volume. So for this person right here, it is showing that they need two things: their lifetime earnings and their total pay line volume. Now, if you look on the screen, this person has met one requirement, which is the lifetime earnings, but they need to meet the pay line volume. Now, the pay line volume to move from manager to a director is 2,000 PV on your pay line. Remember that for you to have 2,000 PV on your pay line, you must have an equivalent of the same on your power line. So this person right here needs to work on their pay line if they were to be strategic for this week. Also, on your dashboard, you would quickly see a volume report that would show you the volume distribution in your organization. So for this person, it's showing that they have 4,680 on line 1, and they have no pay line because that's the only line they have. And then therefore, that's their power line. The power line is the line with the most volume. And in this case, there's only one line with the most volume. A pay line would be the line with the less volume, but we don't have any pay line for this brand partner that we're showing on the screen. Now, another way to be strategic for some persons, they would prefer to go to, once they get to their dashboard, click on the hamburger button, and then it opens additional options, and then you will see My Money. If you click on My Money, it will open an additional option of volume. That will take you to this page that you can see on the screen right here. All right, so Now we can determine that 4,680 we saw from that volume report that is showing on the dashboard. Now, if you go to your volume, you will now see that it is a carryover volume. So it's not from current activity for that week, it's a carryover volume, all right? So that helps you to monitor the volume distribution in your organization. So tell me now, if you were in this person's, if this was your volume, what would you do? To be strategic, then you need to start building for this week another line to become your pay line, all right? Another line that becomes your pay line. And that's where most of your enrollments would go to for this week. So even if you're creating a smart links, you want to create a smart links up to the point of placement, in line 1, in line 2, because you're trying to build another line. So you can even create a smart links up to the point of placement, and then you can send the smart links out and let people fill up their personal information. So if you don't have this title advancement requirements, please ask Neo or myself, and we will be glad to share with you. We'll be glad to share this with you. Every brand partner needs to have this title advancement requirements. So that way you know what is required of me. What am I trying to achieve for this week? Am I trying to move from team lead to supervisor? What is the requirement? It only requires that I should have $400 earning. If I'm moving from team lead to supervisor, if I'm moving from supervisor to manager, it only requires that I should have earned a lifetime of earnings of $800. And if you're trying to move from a manager to a director, it only requires that you should have 2 things. You see now that the requirements have changed. Now you need to have both $1,000 in lifetime earnings and also 2,000 PV on your pay line for 1 week. All right, it's not cumulative, it's for that current qualification period for that week. So let's quickly also recap some of the things we talk about when we talk about pay line and power line, because that's important in this enrollment. As you build your team of brand partners, they are going to be placed in a line with an open position, like you can see on the screen. Now, you can add new brand partners to existing teams. When you do that, it means you're building deeper. But when you place them in lines, as they become available, as widely as you see on the screen here, you're building wide. But right here, what you see on the screen is that you're beginning to build deep. You're placing brand partners in existing open position where there are already existing partners. So each brand partner also can acquire new customers, increasing your sales volume. So it's not only a brand partner that you can enroll, you can also enroll customers. Now let's take, for instance, that screen shot we had of that brand partner who has 4,680 PV. Now, so let's say for this week, he's trying to move to become a vice president. He doesn't just want to take it to a director. He wants to move to become a vice president. What is the requirement to a vice president? Number 1 thing is for you to have 3,000 on your pay line. Let's quickly look back again. And then the second one is for what? There is no lifetime earnings with vice president. The focus, right, as you move from vice president down, the focus now becomes pay line volume. Pay line volume. The only place where it requires for you to have both lifetime earnings and pay line is moving to a director. So say you're moving to a vice president, the requirement is 3,000 pay line volume only. Now, so let's say that a brand partner wants to be strategic this week. Since they already have 4,680 on their power line that they've carried over, they now decide to start building on line 2 and even extend to line 3. So this is what they did to move to a vice president. 3,000 pay line on line 2. They got 3,000 PV on line 2. On line 3, they got 200. Some brand partners also came in there at 100 PV, at 50 PV, at 50 PV. And the sales from their team accumulated throughout the week. Remember that the line with the most volume is called power line. And all other lines are your pay line. All other lines. Once you have identified the line with the most volume, all other lines are your pay line. So these other 2 lines now becomes the pay lines of this brand partner. What would be their base commission for this week? So they would get 10% of the volumes in their pay line. And the volume in their pay line is 3,000 here and 200. So 10% of 3,200 will give them $320. See, they have been strategic this week in one, title advancing, and also maximizing their base commission payout. And if they are able to do the same for the brand partners within their organization, what will happen to them? They would be able to earn matching bonus because they've duplicated and taught others how to optimize their base commission earnings. What happens to the balance of the volume? Of course, it will be carried over if they stay auto delivery qualified. So if their commission qualified, they're on their auto delivery like they were, that's why they had the 4,680 carried over. Then the balance of 1,480 will also be carried over to the next commission period. And it will add to new volume to calculate for them base commission. So there are different methods to you enrolling a brand partner. Now, these are the different ways that you can enroll a brand partner, but let's quickly start. Let's look at how you can enroll a brand partner using the enroll button. Once you log into your back office, right there on your dashboard, scroll down a little bit, right underneath the volume report, you would see this enroll icon there, the shop and the subscribe. So you can enroll via your back office in a variety of ways. All right, so log on to your back office, navigate to this enroll button. Remember, it is your responsibility as a brand partner, not just that of your upline. Alternatively, you can enroll by simply navigating to the hamburger menu at the top left-hand side of your back office. Scroll down to My Business. On the drop-down prompt, please select Enroll a New Brand Partner and continue. Right there, as you can see on the screen, select Enroll a New Person and move on. Now that will take you to the page where it says Sign Me Up. All right, so the page that you can start your business. Remember that enrolling people into your organization helps you start your business. So click on Sign Me Up, then select a pack. It takes you to the page where you can select a pack. Maybe they want to get on with business pack. Maybe it's elite, maybe it's ultimate. Or you can click on continue without products in the case where they don't want to buy products at that time. But I do have a challenge with when we click on continue without products. All right, so once you click on continue without products, you must be able to know for how long is this person, when are they going to start their business? Don't just enroll people with continue without products without an estimated date of when they would be placing an order. Else, it would become a situation that we have for a lot of brand partners with a lot of people in the organization who never, started their business. So people should be able to commit to when they would like to start their business for you to continue without a product. Or maybe you are actually at a point where you have an in-person meeting and certain person just said, oh, I'd like to enroll right now. I'm going to place my order on the 22nd of August. I'm going to place my order. They give you a specific date that they will be placing their order. And then it will take you to the next requirement, which is placement. Placement. So when you continue your enrollment by choosing placement, placement, as you can see on the screen, is always on default. It is always on default. You need to determine if you want to choose another option, all right? Another option to be able to place people into your organization. And I always tell people, I love graphic tree. I love to choose graphic tree because graphic tree to me helps me to be more strategic. So I have Nick on my line 2, and I would like to support Nick with some volume because he's such an amazing team member. I see that he's working very hard and I'd like to support him. So I want to place Neka that is joining my organization underneath Nick so that Nick can also enjoy the volume. Or maybe I have Luke, and Luke is struggling in my line 2. And I want to be able to motivate Luke to go out there and start sharing his transformation story. So I'm going to place Susan, who is coming into my organization under Luke, to motivate him that, hey, Luke, I've placed Susan underneath you, and Susan is coming with this volume. I'd like you to start talking to, persons about your transformation. And of course, you need to really guide Luke. There are certain persons who have challenge talking to persons. If you see them within your organization, please support them and help them maximize their potential. So when you click on the graphic tree, this is where it takes you to. If you click on the graphic tree in your placement, it takes you to what you see like on the screen right here, all right? A graphic displaying how your organization looks, who is in your organization. So let's take, for instance, the brand partner with 4,680 PV on their line 1. Remember that our focus now is on their line 2. So if that brand partner were to choose graphic tree, he would take them to this graphic you can see right here. And if you notice something on the screen, there is also available positions showing right there. So the same thing happens when you choose the graphic tree option. It shows you your graphic of your organization, and then you can go straight down to say, oh, I want to support Taiwo, and then you click on line 3 or you click on 4, any of the available option, and then it will place that person automatically there. And once that is done, it will take you out of that graphic tree. You can save that, and then you can proceed to personal information. Carefully input enrollee's personal information and then proceed. Now, if you see amongst the personal information is the first name, the middle initial, it's optional, the last name, and the birth dates. These are all very important. Only where it is optional, it will indicate right there. Now, you see an additional requirement underneath there where it says add co-applicants. So here is the point where you can add co-applicants to a profile. So if you're enrolling Luke and Luke would like to enroll with his wife, then you should add, the wife right there. Remember that as a compliance requirement, you're not supposed to have a different account from that of your spouse. Spouses are supposed to have one account within the partner co-organization. And of course, we'll be talking more about compliance next week when we get on the compliance training. All right, we'll be talking more about compliance related issue, and I'm sure they will touch on these requirements right there, co-applicants. All right, so you ask for the address and all personal information about the partner. And then you ask for terms and conditions. I would usually emphasize on these terms and conditions because a lot of our brand partners in our community, I have come to realize, do not read the terms and conditions. And of course, it's not just about our community. It's sometimes the general attitude we take to the terms and conditions. They are so tiny and you don't want to go through the stress of reading all of that. I would appeal that you please always take time to read the terms and conditions. Before you tick the button, you're required to read and agree to the terms and conditions on our website before you proceed to conclude your enrollment. And then it moves you to create an account. In creating an account, you're required to enter the new enrollee's email address. Please input a functional email. We cannot emphasize this enough. Input a functional email because this is the email that will be tied to the new enrollee's partner profile. Do not multiply the email address of the sponsor across enrollee's profile. Please input the enrollee's functional email address. That allows us to be able to communicate with them. Also, remember to input also correct phone number, especially since we deliver door to door. If there's any challenge where we're trying to reach the brand partner, it is their phone numbers we would first reach out to, because that would be able to allow us to reach them in real time before we would now use the email option. Please always ensure that you look at the phone numbers and that they are correct. We're hoping that as we continue to review and upgrade our website, that it would always prompt you in the future if you input a wrong phone number or an incomplete phone number, or maybe it's over by 1 or 2 digits, that the system itself will prompt you to make an adjustment. Then, of course, review the summary of that enrollment, finally confirm and submit. Immediately you do that, the brand partner ID will be displayed. Another option is you can enroll via the smart links. You can enroll by sharing your smart links. It is by far the simplest method of enrollment. It is also good to know that this method of enrollment promotes confidentiality, because there are some customers that are skeptical about sharing their personal information, such as their birth date, with others. So when you enroll to the point of placement, then you can click on the smart link button, create a smart link, and send to them to continue the enrollment process. So this helps you promote your business with a swag. To create the smart links, you can create it by simply logging into your back office, like every other enrollment. You can navigate to the dashboard. You can scroll down to smart links and create smart link. And then you select enroll. There are 2 options they will show you there, either to shop, which is the same thing as ordering. To shop or order is an option you use for people who just want to, maybe a customer, retail customers, or maybe preferred customer. But if you're enrolling a brand partner, please click on enroll. And once you click on enroll, it will take you to sign me up. Then you can choose your preferred pack. Once you do that, you proceed to placement, and then you strategically choose an open or available position, like I mentioned earlier. Then you can create smart links. At the top right-hand corner, you will see the smart links button. Once you do that, you can create a unique 4-digit PIN. Then you can click on generate. All right. Finally, copy and seamlessly share the smart links with your prospects or your enrollees, who will in turn complete it with their personal details and make payments themselves for the chosen pack. Now that you know all about enrolling a brand partner, you can head over to our website and please start enrolling. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to take a couple of questions from the team.
Blessing, so that slide that you had at the end there, Sneakia, http //partner.co/. If you put your brand partner ID after that, does that take you to your site? So it's your personal URL. Am I right there?
Yes, please.
That's an amazing, amazing tool to give to your prospect, because it just takes you to the next level. Because I mean, you know, it just shows that you actually have a business with a URL, and you can advertise it on any of your platforms and put that URL. I don't know if you want to just show that again there, Blessing, the last slide, because that slide is very, very good.
Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
So take a screenshot of this. I don't know if you want to explain the yes, Blessing.
Okay, so this is so important for you to be able to brand your partner business. It's a business. It's a professional business. So you can put your ID number right here at the end, and then it becomes your personalized URL. And you can share it with anyone. And you can do so much more with your back office. You can put this on any of your social media pages, and people only need to click on that link and go place an order, and it will be connected to your organization anywhere around the world.
And Blessing, one more question. Just so if we enroll a new brand partner and we put them in our tree view. So for example, I enroll Coach Michelle, and I put Coach Michelle in my line 1 under Leonie. And 5 days later, I realized I made a mistake. I should have put Coach Michelle in Leonie's line 2 and not the line 1. Is there a grace period that we allowed to move without compliance giving us a long email letter telling us to go and do something else?
So one thing that compliance would always take note of when you request for a brand partner to move. So take, for instance, this scenario you just painted for us, where you put in Coach Michelle first and then Leonie next underneath. Now, if there are no other persons under Leonie, it becomes easier for compliance to move Leonie at any time where you request for her to be moved to a different line. But where you have had, say, maybe Leonie now has people underneath her, or Leonie has sponsored individuals underneath that line, it becomes a little more difficult for compliance to do so, because now there's a family. Say Leonie has sponsored someone, so now it's a lot of work for compliance to do. Not that they will not do it, but they would have preferred that you reach out to them before you start building under Leonie. So the last person in a line is easier to move where there's no one underneath that person at any time. Maybe in 30 days, maybe in 6 months, compliance will still be able to do that. But when there are other persons underneath Leonie, or Leonie has sponsored or Michelle has sponsored, it becomes a little more trickier for compliance to do the movement. Not that they will not, but those are the requirements you want to think about before you write them. But for this evening, I'm going to leave all the compliance related questions for next week. We have a compliance training with global compliance. Please take your time, put down all of the questions that you have for them. It's going to be, if possible, a 2-section training so that we can ask all of the questions that we need answers with in Africa as we continue to build and expand across Africa. Are there any other questions in the chat box relating to enrollment, to placement? I'll be willing to take those. All right. Apart from Nick, I don't see any other questions.
Yeah, also just double check, Blessing.
Awesome. Awesome. So this is so important. I hope that we've learned about enrolling, how important it is to building your organization, and how you need to be more strategic in your placement, how you need to constantly double check on the volume distribution within the organization so that you can be more strategic in placing people into your organization, how you need to also think about title advancement and also optimizing your base commission. As you optimize your base commission, you're more able to teach people within your team to do the same. And that would also increase your matching bonus pay. The more people who earn base commission within your organization, the more you can match against those base commission paychecks. And that can help you optimize your pay. One of the things that we're always excited about is to see you earn more and more and more, and see you keep title advancing and experiencing growth in your partner co business. Thank you for being part of our community. Thank you for being part of this call. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely evening. It's a goodbye from us in partner